how y'all doing? Welcome to Three Count Commentary. This is your host, Mongo Slade. So I did a 50-minute video detailing the ballad of Kelly Klein in Ring of Honor. I go through the initial stuff that was posted in Newsweek, her divorce with BJ Whitmer, and now the lawsuit. This video will be simply about the sexual harassment complaints against Jay Lethal. I only have an hour to do videos on YouTube, so I have to, even though I dropped like many videos, 50 minutes, I couldn't go in and talk about this as much as I wanted to, right? So I'm going to just isolate this part. So if you're just interested in Jay Lethal getting hit with a sexual harassment suit, we could talk about that. If you're interested in what her pay was, all the other stuff, that'll be in the 50-minute video. All right. But this is just about Jay Lethal and sexual harassment. So Jay Lethal's real name, Jamar Shipman, is used in the lawsuit. And this is the complaint against Jay Lethal. January 13th, 2017, while Klein was in a hot tub near the pool of a hotel where the wrestlers were staying before the night of the event, Shipman, a.k.a. Jay Lethal, approached Klein and, while leering at her in a way that made Klein feel uncomfortable, started harassing her by asking her questions about whether her boyfriend was there, if she was staying in the hotel alone, and how long she would be at the hotel. Shipman's behavior made Klein very uncomfortable. Okay, so that's very vague, right? That's the complaint, Now, that's the initial complaint. Now, if there were other things that happened, which in some of these pieces it says that there was no real detail. All right, so let's go through all the stuff that involves Jay Lethal so you see what I mean. January 25th, 2017, Klein received an email from Ring of Honor advising her that Shipman would be the new agent assigned to work with the female wrestlers. One day later, Klein responded to the email and explained that she had witnessed and experienced several situations with Shipman that made her uncomfortable to work with him. She advised ROH management that she was not willing to work with Shipman and requested that another agent be assigned to the matches. She said she went on to explain that she had not expressed this sooner for fear of retaliation or backlash. February 2017, BJ Whitmer, another male wrestler assigned to Ring of Honor, was informed by Shipman that Johnston informed Shipman that Klein had complained about him. Okay? That's a bit of a knot. Okay, so Delirious, Hunter Johnston, who was also named in the lawsuit, apparently told Jay Lethal about Kelly Klein's complaint. And then Jay Lethal went to BJ Whitmer about it. Why would he go to BJ Whitmer about it? Because BJ Whitmer is Kelly Klein's, I guess, husband at the time or boyfriend at the time. They believe they were married, but I don't know if they were married in February of 2017. Okay? So that means Jay Lethal went to the guy and said, your girlfriend, wife, whatever, is filing a sexual harassment complaint against me. That was weird. That's really weird. So 2018, July 2018, Sinclair, through their human resources department, spoke with Klein regarding another female wrestler's complaints regarding Shipman. This means there's another female wrestler out there who said that at least that Jay Lethal made her feel uncomfortable. Klein informed that department of her situation with Shipman in 2017 and was informed that no information had been received and no investigation was done. Klein also informed the department that Shipman knew she was accusing him of sexually harassing behavior. So that's nuts, man. This is nuts. March 7th, 2019. Klein was informed by Adam Birch, that's Joey Mercury, that someone in management did not want her to go to training because Shipman would be there. So that means she could, in this lawsuit as well, she also argued that some of the female wrestlers were not properly trained. So a lot of this stuff is like a chain, like it's very linked up. She complained that a lot of the female wrestlers were not properly trained. Now she's saying they would not allow her to go to training because Jay Lethal was going to be there and she had filed a complaint against him and they didn't want them together in the same place, which seems oddly like they're trying to fix the problem. So at least they're saying that she was aware of it. Okay, or at least that they were aware of it. September 30th, 2019, Klein had a discussion with Lauren Sisselman, an ROH employee who arranges travel, regarding Klein traveling to the dojo in Baltimore to train. Lauren said Gilliland had told her that if Shipman was going to be there, that Klein could not be there, and instructed her to wait to confirm Shipman's presence before allowing her to come. So in other words, they're trying to make sure that Jay Lethal was, and again, Jay Lethal and Kelly Klein are not going to be in the same place. But I can tell from the way that they're wording this that they're trying to say that the company, let's say, prioritized him being there. That instead of saying he should leave, that, she was not allowed to go because he was going to be there. Rather than the company should have just sent him home. I can tell that that's the implication here. That after she complained, he should have been taken away. That's really what I'm reading. Anyway, that's just me. You can disagree. November 7th, 2019, Klein met with Koff to discuss fair play and sexual harassment. A human resources employee from Sinclair Broadcasting, Caitlin, was also present. Plaintiff advised Koff that the salaries for the female talent, and then I'm going to skip until further. Client complained about the sexual harassment by Shipman. Koff said he thought it had been resolved. Klein told him it had not, but Klein had stopped talking about it because nothing had ever been done. Klein had brought this up to Human Resources in 2018, and that management had revealed her name to Jay Lethal, aka Jamar Shipman, even though there was no formal investigation, which created a hostile work environment for her. Koff stated that there was no documentation for the 2018 claim, and that HR was only for employees, and she was not an employee. When Klein asked for policies, Koff informed her that her contract was her quote-unquote handbook. So there's a lot to unpack here. For starters, I know it may break some people's brains, but wrestlers are independent contractors. And he's saying that, HR was only for, HR is only for employees. It's not for wrestlers. That's a bit of a stretch, dog. Wrestlers can use human resources. That's stupid. Now, my thing is, she says that Jay Lethal, knowing about the harassment complaint, creates a hostile work environment. Now, I can understand that argument. I really can. But I think that him being accused of sexual harassment also creates a hostile work environment and could quite possibly cost him his job. So let's talk about this. Now, Jordan Peterson, the famous psychologist, he asked a question. It kind of raised a lot of eyebrows when he said, can men and women work together? And the Vice reporter he was talking to got kind of skittish about it. Like, what do you mean? Like, should we segregate working places by sex? I mean, what can we do? But he was trying to say that, men and women, they have different ways of approaching things, right? When you read about what supposedly happened at the hotel, that he was asking her questions and that he was quote unquote leering at her, that kind of stuff is very fucking vague. It is vague. What does it mean to leer? Like, he didn't touch her. He's asking her questions about her boyfriend. If he knows her boyfriend, he could say, hey, is so-and-so here? If he's not here, how long are y'all going to be here? Are you here by yourself then if he's not here? Is that sexually harassing? We don't know. And then the idea that he's not supposed to know. Now, I know that there's rape shield laws now, right? These things are fairly new. I think they popped up within the last 30 years. Right? Where you could just go and make an anonymous report, and then the guy has to sit there and try to figure out what girl that he probably ran across 100 fucking girls, and which one of them said he did something inappropriate. And he's kind of like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to like walk on eggshells around every girl that I meet? This guy was the trainer for the girls. He was working in the dojo. He was the producer for the female talent. If somebody says, hey, you made some girl feel uncomfortable, he's probably like, which girl? What are you talking about? Like, I only run into him at the dojos and so, and not even thinking that he had talked to her at the hotel or whatever. Nobody even, but he has a right to know. Like, just saying you can say things about people and then be able to be like, oh, well, deal with it. Like, I get it. I get it. Somebody might feel, you tell somebody, hey, I'm going to file a sexual harassment complaint against you. They might retaliate. They might get pretty mad. Sure. But you don't get to throw a brick and hide your hand either. That's one of the basic tenets of our legal system, is the ability to confront accusers. You know, if I cannot confront my accuser, if I can't even know who my accuser is, how can I defend myself? You know, I'm defending myself against random accusations because, I mean, to be quite honest, the moment he's told about hey, here's the story of what happened, you know, sometimes people are not thinking about things. They're like, I don't remember that. I don't know who that was. But if you say a name like, yeah, this is, Amanda said this, you can be like, oh, Amanda, I talked to her 100 times since then. Why she didn't say anything? You know? And sure, it could have been something like that, or it could have been something far more sinister. We don't know. But that's the thing where you're talking about people, when you're talking about males and females being together, they have different ways of communicating. You know, I don't know what it means to leer at somebody and make them feel uncomfortable by asking them questions. I don't know what that means. Right? You know, but there's probably women out there who know what it means, because they probably say, oh, it's like catcalling. They're like, well, yeah, if that was the case, then she should just say he was catcalling. But that's not what he was doing. He's asking her questions about her boyfriend. Was he pushing up on her? He offered to buy her a drink. He said, come up to my hotel room. Did he whip his dick out? Did he do something that can be obviously sexual? You know, like, this is not even obviously sexual, as far as I'm concerned. Now, she said that somebody else filed a complaint against him. That's interesting. Of course, that person was not mentioned. And now he's going to have to deal with that because he doesn't know who that is. And you talk about this being something from 3 or 4 years ago. How many women do you think he came in contact with over the course of 3 or 4 years? You know, like, it's a nightmare scenario. Jay Lethal just re-signed a contract with Ring of Honor in 2021 rather. Because Ring of Honor has been signing up all these guys. Jay Lethal is the franchise player for Ring of Honor. Now, there's no doubt that, they will get rid of him. If it comes out to all of this stuff comes out, they'll, and it checks out, and they can find other women, then he's definitely going to get, his career killed. And it sucks because Jay Lethal is one of the most respected guys in the business, because you never really hear anything negative about him. Now, if you remember, ACH jumped out his skin to say some crazy stuff about WWE. And everybody was in the background rooting. Like, yeah, WWE is so racist. And then he says, fuck Jay Lethal, he's an Uncle Tom. And then all those people who were like, woo, like, what? Fuck Jay Lethal? What did he do? And then, it's like, he's trying to hold everybody down. It was like, I don't want to hear that. Thumbs down. And then a lot of those people turned against him, because they were like, okay, we buy it against Triple H and all that type of stuff, the WWE, but we're not going to buy that Jay Lethal is fucking with anybody. That's really what Kelly Klein is going up against here, because there is a lot of, institutional goodwill for Jay Lethal. As far as wrestling fans are concerned, he's been a nice guy, but hell, I don't know what happened in that hotel in 2017. I wasn't there. Right? But, so what is he going to do? What can he do? He can only do something similar and probably countersue, which is going to get him ripped up into shreds and on the Twitter machines and all that type of stuff anyway. Anything other than, well, if he admits that it happened, his career is over. Because he sexually harassed a female wrestler, he can't even work with female wrestlers anymore. His career is over. If he say it didn't happen and he tries to argue it, his career is over. Because everyone's going to say, well, he's such an unrepentant bastard. Nobody wants to hear that. His career is over. What can he do? Like, he's in a situation now where this woman, what she said is going to get taken very, very seriously. And it's going to be treated like it's the facts when it might not be. It might just be her perception of events. And then, of course, you also have the racial component, where you have black man, white woman. How much of this might just be her, imagining that he was hitting on her? Versus, and that's not even a white woman thing. That just could be her ego. That, a guy approached her and was talking to her while she was by herself. And, She obviously thought like, he obviously wants to fuck me because, why else would he be talking to me? But it's kind of like he was asking you questions about your boyfriend, and was he leaning over? Like, that's what I'm trying to think of. Like, is there something like body language or something that, that just saying that he was leering at you? Like, what does that mean? How do you know he wasn't sleepy? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I don't, that doesn't make any sense. There has to be more to these accusations than that. And it's sad that it really, for most people, it don't take that much. Just the fact that he was mentioned here is going to be enough for most people. And that's sad because this guy has been in the business for a long time. You almost never hear that many bad stories about Jay Lethal. But I can almost guarantee that if this really hits, and there's no reason why it shouldn't, he's a high profile target, that you probably going to see him get dragged down. And then, of course, that opens up the door for other people to jump on. For somebody else to jump out of the ether and say, oh, that other woman that he sexually harassed was me. And here's this other vague thing that happened. Or it could be something far more descriptive. And it's going to bring him down. But in any event, this is really bad. This is really bad. And as usual, I hope it's not true. I really do. Again, I don't want people to work in unsafe work environments. Sometimes people have fucked up perceptions of things. Sometimes they're spot on. Who knows? Again, I was not there in the hotel. All I can say is that guys deserve a fair shake. And all of this stuff that you're supposed to be just gossiping behind his back saying, oh, he was leering at me and made me feel uncomfortable. And you run the human resources and he's not supposed to know. He has to what? Do what? Close his eyes every time a woman comes around because I don't want to be accused of leering. I'm going to pluck my fucking eyeballs out with a spoon because I don't want to get accused of leering. That's not, what the fuck is that? And then, if you're willing to go on record and say that this guy did something, stand on it. If I'm going to say a motherfucker stole from me, a motherfucker touched me, I'm going to stand on it like you did it. I'm not going to be like, well, it should be a secret, Now, she said she kept it a secret for fear of retaliation, which is, I guess, fair. Again, Jay Lethal is very well liked. So it is natural that if she would have came out and said something like this, she probably had reason to believe that some people might be like, oh, well, she's accusing Jay Lethal, so we're not going to take her seriously. Maybe we don't book her anymore. Maybe we don't ask her to come back or something like that. It's entirely possible. But you're still supposed to stand on it. If you believed it happened, stand on it. And that's that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Again, this is just part of a larger discussion on the lawsuit between Kelly Klein and Ring of Honor, but I did not have time to go into 20 minutes of discussion about this particular situation because there was so much to go over. Feel free, if you're interested in, the unequal pay argument, the unsafe work environment argument, feel free to go through that stuff. It's very interesting. And I'll talk to you guys later, man. Use the hashtag 3Count Commentaries to support the channel. Cash, via Cash App, I appreciate that. Let me know what you guys think. If you support Kelly Klein, let me know and let me know why. If you don't, let me know why. And I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace.
Yeah, shed light. I know what that's like.